Okay, now that you have completed cutting and sanding all the edges of these 5 pieces on both corners, and then completing this layout, this is what your shelf should look like. So now what we need to do is we need to drill holes and lay out for our shelf. Now our shelf, just to remember, should have a rounded edge on both the front, but no rounded edges on the back or on the ends. So here's our shelf, and now we are going to find out where this is located. So here's what you're going to do. The 2 outside pieces, we're going to label this for my project. This is going to be the bottom. Actually, I'm going to flip this around because I don't want to drill through. You want to try to not drill through a knot. Drilling through a knot, the knot is the hardest part of your material and it can cause it to split. So we don't actually want to go through that. So what we're going to do is on this one, on the 2 outsides from the bottom, I'm going to measure up 2 inches. I'm going to put a light crow's foot. From here, I'm going to come up. So I'm going to do that to my other piece real quick. So that's 2 inches, crow's foot, pull back, pull back. Now from these 2 pieces, I'm going to come up 4 inches. So here's my 4. Put my pencil on the 4 and then pull back, crow's foot, crow's foot. Then come here to 4, pull back, crow's foot. And from the very middle one, I'm going to come up 6. Okay. So now what that's going to do is going to line up our pieces. So I'm going to now take my speed square, and remember the lip is always tight to your material. It's never just here and I'm making a straight line with this edge. No, we want to make a 90-degree angle. So I'm going to come here, put my pencil on the mark, slide my speed square, get out of the light here, up to my pencil, make sure that this lip is tight, and now I'm going to make a line, a light line down. My next one, I'm actually going to put my speed square here on the other side, line it up here, pull down, there's my next one. And bring it tight. Slide it right through my crow's foot. Draw my line. Pull tight. Right through my line. Through my crow's foot, rather. Draw a line through my crow's foot. And I actually might want to straighten that line over on this side. Extend it all the way out. And then I have this one. Okay. Now all these lines, we are going to line them up perfectly like this. Now see, this line didn't go all the way through. So what I'm actually going to do is come over here. And if you don't put your square tight here, this is not going to work. You have to make sure your square goes tight to that edge, or your layout for this project is going to be off. So I'm going to draw all the way here. So now I have this, and this is all lined up. So what you'll notice as I zoom out is that we have a 2-inch drop here, 2-inch drop here, here. So these boards are lined up and these boards are lined up. If you don't notice that, then something went a little bit wrong. So now that those are lined up, on here, right over the line, I'm going to write A, B, C in the middle, D, and then E. That's going to tell me that I'm going to line up my boards in this pattern. Now what I need to do is I need to mark where I'm going to drill my holes for the screws to come back through the back side and drill into my shelf. So what I want to do, in order to prevent these boards from splitting, I'm going to come in 3/4 of an inch from each edge. However, on the end ones, I'm going to come in 1 3/4 inches from each end, because you'll notice my shelf has 1 inch gap here. It doesn't go the whole distance. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my speed square. So here on my speed square, I'm going to start on the outside because I needed to come in 1 3/4 inches. So what I might do on my speed square is, I know that this is 1 inch. The middle one is always the half. And here is the 1 3/4 inches. So I'm going to put a little mark there. Now, you'll notice that we don't have 1/16 on here. So we have a half, 1/4, 3/4, 1/8, 3/8, 7/8. Sorry, 5/8, 7/8. So I'm going to put a little mark there. Then I'm also going to come over here. Here is 0 and here's 1. So half is always in the middle. So I'm going to put a little mark here on my 3/4, because that's how I want to come in on most of my boards. On the end boards, I want to come in 1 3/4 inches. So I'm going to come here, and there's my inch, and actually I'm going to come in a little, 1 3/4 inches. I'm going to make a mark, just a little crow's foot. Then I'm going to come over to this side, make my square tight, and here is I'm going to make my 3/4 mark here. Here's the half, here's the 1/4, here's the 3/4. So I'm going to put a little crow's foot right there on the 3/4. Again, I don't want it to be big because I want to cover this with my board so I don't have to resand this. Now I'm going to come out here to my outside, because I know that this is the outside, and I need to come in 1 3/4 inches. So I'm going to come in right to here. Then I'm going to flip my square back around tight, and I'm going to go here to my 3/4, make my crow's foot. So now I have my 2 outsides. So now all I'm going to do is go here, and we go 3/4. Now I also could come back. So here I know is a 1/2 inch, because this board is 3.5 inches wide. So I could come back a half and then 1/4, and I could just do it this way. So it'd be 2 3/4 inches. There's my mark, and there's my mark. So if I went over here, now you can see there's my 3/4 inches. But I saved a step. That's what I recommend, whichever one makes more sense to you. But here's my mark, here's my 3/4 inches, and then 2 3/4 inches. Okay. Here's my 3/4 inches. Here's my 2 3/4 inches. So now I know exactly where to drill. So I'm going to line these up, A, B, C, D, and I'm going to just put a little line across these. So where these 2 lines cross, that is where I'm going to now drill with my screws. So that is the layout for your shelves.